Is Trello a good tool to use for onboarding your assistant? Personally, I don't think so. You might still want to use it after seeing this video. In the next couple minutes, I'll show you the pros and cons to using Trello. So looking at the screen here, we have a Trello board. And what I'm going to put on the screen here, this is what we use. We actually use Asana. Now, when it comes to properly onboarding an assistant, there are literally dozens and dozens and dozens of tasks to be completed. And part of why it's so long is because there's kind of a bit of a call and response, if you will, where, for example, if you need your assistant to have an email account for the company, which they definitely do, then there's actually two tasks there. There's you setting up the account, and then there's them logging in, right? Likewise, when you send them their work agreement, there's one task of you creating and sending the agreement, and then there's a task of them signing the agreement. So there's kind of like two tasks, if you will, for every one outcome that we're looking for. So that's why there are literally dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of steps to getting an assistant onboarded. Now, if I try and take all of these tasks and I try to put them into a Trello card as a checklist, like it's never ending, right? So that's the first thing that makes it unworkable. So an alternative strategy would be to take every single one of these steps and put them into their own independent Trello card. But then if that were the case, you would end up with like 50 to 60 cards all in the one column, and it'd be almost impossible to scroll through all of them. So visually, just the user interface, the user experience is kind of unworkable. Secondly, it's kind of tricky to attach anything, whereas in Asana, for each of these tasks, it creates a sidebar where I can add a lot of supporting information. If I needed to attach anything in here, I could. There's a lot more, let's say, robustness to each individual task. Whereas if I'm back in Trello, I am very, very limited in what I can do. In fact, probably the closest I could get would be if I had some kind of a document that's held in the cloud here. So that actually is a nice little solution. But what happens if you have like a PDF that you want your assistant to review, or some other document that's not a Google Doc or some kind of document in the cloud? You're kind of hooped. I just think that overall, in terms of the user friendliness, you're going to find it is way, way, way more manageable to use a tool like Asana or Clickup or Monday, something that's a true task manager, rather than a Kanban board style tool like Trello. All right, hope that was helpful.